way live. All right, happy Monday, June 3rd. We're already in June, guys. Summertime. Kids are getting off school. So you know what that means? The real estate market should be heating up. I don't know if it's going to be like it's been in the past, but summertime is usually one of the hottest seasons of the year when it comes to home buying because kids are out of school and there's more time, and I don't know what that means actually, but it is the hottest season of the year usually. So we probably are going to see the home buying process pick up. And I've been telling you guys this for a long time now, okay? So when the market heats up, it increases competition. When the interest rates go down, it increases competition. Not to say that interest rates have gone down. Not at least controlled by the Fed from their perspective, making an interest rate reduction. But it does mean that once the competition heats up, you have a harder time buying a house, guys. So if you're interested in getting pre-qualified, go to the link in the bio, click on apply for a home loan now. It'll let us know once you're completely done. I recommend you shoot us a call or a text so we can get on top of your file. What do you got for us, finance man?
I am having some technical difficulties on this, so you'll see that I'm trying to restart one of our applications.
I do see that you went to Braids and Fades this weekend.
Keep it up. Yeah, I did. I decided keep it up. Who said keep it up?
Oh, I don't know.
Dude, there's a lot of comments coming in. You've got to keep up with the comments.
All right, let's log in over here and let's figure out what people are doing.
We're going to see what people are doing. We're going to figure out how to get you a house in 2024. We're going to tell you about the different programs. We're going to tell you about down payment assistance programs, FHA, VA, USDA, conventional, which is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. They're under the umbrella of conventional. We're also going to tell you what the Fed has said, and Jamie Dimon came out this weekend. You know who Jamie Dimon is?
No, remind me.
He is one of the biggest hedge fund managers. Oh, it just spaced it. Goldman Sachs? Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch? No. Oh, it'll take me a second. Anyway, Jamie Dimon is one of the...
Chase. CEO of Chase.
There we go. So Jamie Dimon came out and he said, hey, the economy sucks for some, but it's not so bad for others. And that's the reality. Now, Jamie Dimon is very, very in tune to understand there's different levels. So if you're poor and you're struggling, like let's say less than 100 grand a year, life sucks for you. Life, it's what Jamie Dimon says. It's hard. Everything's expensive. Food's expensive. Everything's expensive. Now, if you're in that middle category of $100,000 to $500,000 a year, life's not that bad. You can't really feel it because you have the savings, you have the income, you have the streams of income. Because a lot of people have lost a stream of income. Maybe it's stocks, maybe it's your employment or something. But if you don't have multiple streams, you're feeling it. You're feeling it a lot. And Jamie Dimon came on and said that. He's like, hey, listen, for some, this is really hitting them hard, like really hard. And for others, it's not so bad. And then there's that top echelon. And that top echelon, these guys are doing pretty good. They're able to take advantage of situations, the rich. And he said it's an unfortunate situation that happens over and over and over again where the rich are in a better spot, the rich are getting richer, and unfortunately, the poor are getting poorer. And so he came out and said that over the weekend, which I thought was the best assessment so far. And he says, they asked him, how's Jerome Powell doing? And he said, he's doing okay. He's doing okay. I think he's made some hiccups, but overall, I think he's doing okay. Jerome Powell, this guy, chairman of the Federal Reserve, says that the odds on a soft landing are 70%. Jamie Dimon, which I think is like equivalent to him in overall understanding of everything, because it's not just one thing, it's everything. And Jamie Dimon says, I think it's half that. I think there's a 35% chance of a soft landing. And he said, but the truth is that you feel it. You feel it on the lower end of the spectrum. If you're making like less than 100 grand a year or whatever, I put that number in, he didn't. But that is what I saw over the weekend.
Yeah, I got someone over here that's saying hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody.
Is that from TikTok,
That's
Instagram?
Instagram.
We're having troubles with TikTok right now,
We do
FYI.
have some questions, though. We do have some questions.
Okay, good. What do we got?
Roast Blanco.
Is that Facebook? It's
That
on
means
Facebook.
white rice.
All right.
It's
You're
delicious.
Good. Yeah, white rice is good. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
How do you get rid of PMI insurance?
You take that.
That's private mortgage insurance, which means that they put less than 20% down, guys. So anytime you put less than 20% down, you're going to have mortgage insurance. It's not good or bad. It's either appropriate for you or not appropriate for you. But good question. How do you get rid of it? Okay. So most people, as first-time home buyers, get an FHA loan. Okay. Get an FHA loan. And if you've received an FHA loan after 2014, I don't know the exact month, but after 2014, mortgage insurance on that particular loan is for life. You will maintain it as long as you have that loan, unless you refinance into a conventional out of it. Okay.
2014's the year? 2014?
Yeah, it's 2014. Prior to that, you had an opportunity to get rid of mortgage insurance, but after that, you're going to keep mortgage insurance.
Well, that's the year the MI went from 1.35 down to 0.55, right? Or no, it went to 0.85 for a while.
Yeah.
0.85 for
We've
a
had
while.
a good drop on mortgage insurance when it comes to FHA.
Yeah.
But if you have conventional, different rules, because conventional says, you should have seen it when you signed your contract, once you hit 78% loan to value, it's going to automatically fall off, but not at the current market value, at the value that what you purchased the house at. Let me give you an example, okay? Just easy math. You bought the house and you got a $100,000 loan, okay? $100,000 loan, which means once that loan is paid down to $78,000, it will automatically fall off, okay? So whatever the math means to you, if you bought it $500,000, $300,000, $1 million, whatever that loan amount is, it has to drop to that 78% mark, but not current value. You have to pay it down to that amount. So you have to pay, what is that, 32% down, okay? I'm sorry, 22%. 22% down in order for it to automatically fall off. If you want to get rid of it and you haven't paid it down that far, but the value that you're looking at in the current market has gone up enough, at least 20%, you can refinance to get rid of that mortgage insurance. So those are the two ways that it's automatically going to fall off. I'm sorry for those of you that got FHA in the last 10 years, you're going to keep it for life. Next question.
We're up here now. 750K. Okay, 750K. Is that home value or is that how much you make? Two fam in Boston. I'm going to guess that's value, home value. Live one unit, rent the other unit for $3,300. I make $90K, no debt, 790 credit score. Would I qualify with 5% down? Ooh, that's complicated. Two family in Boston, 750K. What's your income? 90K, no debt. So 90K, no debt will take you to about 350-ish, 350, but you're talking 750, 330, 5% down. What do you think?
I'm going to say no. It's too far off. If that was a 3-unit, 4-unit for 750, maybe. But the fact that you're going to rent one unit and try to make, what is that, $5,000 a month on? Not going to happen.
Yeah, because the 3,300, we might be able to use that for income. Maybe. But there's some factors involved there, and 5% down, you're talking about Fannie Mae. Then you have to talk about MI. So once you kick the MI in there, what's your FICO score? 790, so you're going to get some good MI. I'm going to say you're on the line. I'm going to say probably you're going to fall on the side of no, but you're not too far off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going to fall on the side of no, but you're not too far off. As long as you live in that primary unit, your 90K is salary, W-2'd, and it's not fluctuating, and you can really rent for $3,300. So maybe, but I lean towards no on that one.
And know this, $3,300 sounds like a good rent. Okay, you're probably looking at, what can I sell this for? What do I need? Yeah, probably. But that's not the number they're going to go off of.
75%.
They're going to go off of whatever the I forgot the report number, but the appraiser's going to do a report on it from the neighborhood and what it's likely to rent for. You might even have a contract that says that someone's going to rent this for $5,000 a month. Not going to count. It's going to go off of what it's going in the current market. So you're going to hear a lot of videos. Even we've said it. Rent 3 units, live in one. Yeah, it's true and it's possible, but it's a needle in the haystack and it's hard to accomplish. But if you're interested, click on the link in the bio. Let's get you started.
We want to help you get that house in 2024. Now, by the way, if rates were lower, you would qualify for that. Yeah, like I said, you're right on the line. And when I go right on the line, I'm factoring 7.5%, 7%, maybe 8%, somewhere in that range, because that is the real rates. If you happen to get in the sixes, you're killing it. You're doing very good if you're in the 6% range. Sevens are real life, and you have to buy down to get into the sixes. So if we were in the fives, that would be a good file. But in the sevens,
a little difficult. Yeah, not impossible, a little difficult. What up, guys? It's CD Legacy 75.
What's up, CD Legacy? Great to see you, CD Legacy.
George Vasquez 4661. Cash out refi or HELOC or HEA?
Depends on your purpose, George Vasquez. It depends on your purpose. So, HELOC is a home equity line of credit. That's like a credit card, but it's a secured credit card using your home. Is it a good thing? It's appropriate or inappropriate? HEA or what's the other one? HELoan. Well, all of these are different types of loans. The HELOC, that is like a credit card. And it's cheaper rates than a credit card. Credit cards are 21, 28% sometimes. And very expensive. You could get a HELOC for 9%, 12%, 15%. That's way better than credit card rates, but it acts like a credit card. The problem with that, or the challenge, the thing that you need to be aware of, is that your home is the security. If you default on a credit card, they chase you, they get mad at you, they hurt your credit. If you default on a HELOC, you got to pack your bags because they're going to move you out. And they're going to kick you out and that's why they want to do it. That's why they give you the better rates. So, most of the time, if you need the money and it's short term, HELOC's better. HELOC's better. Cash out refi right now is probably not a good idea just because the rates are so high, unless you have an 8.5% rate. But even then, it's still probably not a good idea because it's going to cost you a fortune and you still have a high rate.
Yeah, and they're all seconds, guys, except for the cash out refi. You do a cash out refi, it stays your first. That's the only loan you have. You do HELoan, HELOC, second. They're all seconds. So when you're talking to your loan guys, make sure you know that if you do have one of these, that you tell them you have a second, because a lot of people hop into this and try to refinance and they don't disclose this because they think it's just a side account or something. No, it's a second loan. It can kill your deal. So just some data for you guys.
I have one file that I'm working on right now.
That's what brings it to me.
Yeah, and what he did was he did a loan modification. And the loan modification, what happens on a loan mod sometimes is that they tack on a loan. It's a silent second, meaning you don't have to pay it right now, but you will have to pay it. It's not free money. And it is a second. And it's silent, and it doesn't show up on credit, doesn't show up anywhere, but it's back there. Mm-hmm. And the bank knows, and when you try to refinance or sell, it's going to rear its ugly head, and it'll bite you. Yep. And I literally working on a file right now with this issue.
Yeah. Elite Gods, what's up? How you been? How much per money on FHA, $140,000 house with interest, PMI, insurance, and taxes? PITI, 140 Gs? What are you looking at here? 140K income.
$140,000 house.
So it'd be somewhere between $1,300 and $1,500 a month. And that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And that's going on the high end on the interest rate. So if you got a little bit better interest rate, could be a little lower than that. But that's about where you're at.
Trying to put a HELOC in the first position. George, how you going to do that?
I know how.
How? Default?
You own the house free and clear. If you own the house free and clear,
yeah,
and it's your only loan,
yeah,
guess what position it falls in?
Yeah. I think he might be a hater saying, hey, the primary is the one that would foreclose and the HELOC doesn't foreclose. It is beneath the primary. Could be a hater or could be someone who actually really knows. I'm not sure, but if it is a hater, let's address that. There's a primary mortgage, and the primary mortgage sits above everything except for taxes. So taxes can always supersede a primary mortgage. A HELOC is second, but it will pose a lien on the property. And usually the primary is in the best interest to help satisfy the HELOC. But if there's enough money in it, that HELOC will take care of the primary and foreclose. So, can that happen? Yeah, this is just math. Remember, everybody's just trying to make money, and nobody's entitled to money. Nobody's entitled to loans, should I say. You're not entitled to loans. It's an agreement, and you have to fit within a certain set of guidelines. And in those guidelines, there's rules. I had a kid ask me this weekend, he said, hey, listen, I heard you can get a conventional 4-unit and just tell them that you intend to live in one of the units. That you intend to live in it. That you intend to live in it.
Oh,
and
just
then,
tell them.
after
tell
you
them.
close escrow, you can say, my intent was to live in it, but I changed my mind. And they said, Lee, what do you think about that? And I said, yeah, probably not. I said, what you're doing is actively like creating mortgage fraud. That's not a good thing. You don't want to do that. No. If you're going to use the programs and you're going to actually live in the 1 unit, live in it. If not, don't say you're going to intend. You might get away with it. Some people might get away with it. They might even put it on the internet that they got away with it. But that doesn't make it right. And when you do get caught, it'll bite you way too hard. Way too hard. Yeah, so don't do that.
I'll tell you what, man, you could sniff out them haters.
Yeah, I know.
I don't sniff them out. I just think they don't know. I just don't think they know better. And you're like, no, that's a hater.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what a truffle pig is?
Tell me.
So you know what truffle is?
Yes.
Okay, so truffle, very expensive, high-end, call it a mushroom, okay? They have these pigs that they hunt with, and they sniff out the truffles and they dig them out.
I'm thinking truffles is chocolate.
There are chocolate truffles, too.
Okay, got it.
But this is the actual, it's like a mushroom. It's a
Okay,
delicious,
right.
expensive
Okay,
mushroom.
all right.
But they use these animals. You're like one of them, man. You're sniffing out the haters. You know where they exist.
I got the haters coming out.
Celso Luna in the house!
What's up, Celso Luna? Great to see you.
So this is a good question, Celso Luna.
Go.
Let the people know. Do Chris and Lee know what they're talking about when it
Do
comes
we
to
know what
buying
we're
houses?
talking about?
Answer the question, Celso. Be honest. Be honest. Don't lie.
Oh, I got
Be
some realtors coming
honest.
at me. I'm in a couple of deals where the realtors are shooting at me, and I'm like, it's like amateur hour. It reminds me of when my son was growing up, and he was 12 years old, and he actually thought he could beat me up.
Did you try?
And he tried. It was fun. It was hilarious. He would like
Did you
toe
record it?
up. I wish I did. But he'd toe up, and I'd be like, I'm not even gonna fight you because this is a non-starter. I'm just gonna hit you with a couple of restrain you. I'm just gonna hit you with a couple of facts, and then you're just gonna cave under the weight. And that's what's happening with these inexperienced realtors that are coming at me. I got 2 of them right now, which I think is hilarious. And I always look after the borrower. Sometimes I piss off a realtor in the process, but I look after the borrower, and that has served me well over the long haul.
All right. Celso Luna said, hell yeah, you do. All right. Celso Luna, that's awesome. User 7387. So what about 950,000, 3-fam, live in 1, rent the other 2 for 3,300. Same person with the scenario 90K, 700 credit score.
Okay.
3,300, 369. Maybe.
That's 6,600 in rents. 70. You would need 9,000. 9,000. You're still on that line. You're on that line, but you might be closer to the yes. Difficult, yeah. It's very difficult, and you're gonna need. Here's the one that's probably gonna kill you. Because you're using the other 2 units in order to qualify. 6 months reserves minimum. Might be 12 months. What are reserves? Okay. We need 3,300 times 2, which is 6,600. But after we add yours in, it's going to be more like 9,000. 9,000 for 900,000 or a little more percent.
In that range.
So 9,000. So 9,000 times 6 is what?
54,000.
You need 54,000 that you're not going to touch. 54,000 after your 5%, you need that as reserves in the bank. The reason you need that as reserves is because you are using the other 2 units in order to qualify for that property. If you were not using the income of the other 2 units and you had the income yourself, then you wouldn't need the reserves. But if you're using the reserves, if you're using the other 2 units in order to qualify, mandates minimum 6 months reserves, probably 12 months.
We're actually our back is against the wall on this one too. You know why?
Why?
Loan limit. So he's coming in with 90 grand, $950,000. That only takes him down to 860,000. So if the loan limits are up to 860,000, and I know in big cities you can hit that with FHA.
Yeah.
You can, but if you're not in a big city and you're not in a county that has those higher loan limits,
well, the 3-unit,
that 90K.
the 3-unit. Remember, they're
Fair.
stepped loan limits.
So
So
what county are you in? Are you in a
that's
big
gonna be a
county?
big deal. Yeah, if you're in a lower county, probably not. But if you're in a big county, so the way it works is there's 1-unit loan limit, and then there's 2-unit loan limit, 3-unit loan limit, and 4-unit loan limit. And they obviously step up.
Yep.
In LA, your 4-unit loan limit is probably 1.6,
Yeah, in that range.
1.7 million, and your 1-unit is right at $1 million, right? I think it's $1.1 million.
Yeah, for LA. Yeah.
For LA, 1.1 million. So that's Orange County, Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, just off the top of my head, those ones. And then Miami, there's some big spots. New York, there's some big spots. Chicago,
He's in
there's some big
Boston.
spots. Boston,
Suffolk
Boston?
County.
Oh,
Suffolk.
okay. So we would have to pull the 5% is conventional. We have to pull your conventional conforming limits in that area, plug in the 3-unit one, but the reserves kill most people. And the reserves are just logic. You know what? The bank doesn't want you to default. The bank knows everybody wants to push the line. Everybody wants to push the line. The bank's like, hey, we're okay with you pushing the line, but if things fall apart, we need to know that you can actually cover the payment. And that's why they require a 6 months reserve. If you have a primary residence and then you're buying another residence, you need reserves for all units you own, all properties you own. And when you start getting to 4, 5, 6 properties, it gets high. It gets high. I know that whenever I'm buying a property, I have to go, all right, PIT on this one, PIT on that one, PIT on that one, PIT on. Holy shit, this gets to be a lot of money. So if this is your only unit, then you probably will only need the reserves for the 1 unit. But you have multiple units, we got to think about reserves on all the units.
Yep. Big boy game, guys. George Vasquez, thank you guys. I get the info from a notable big banker lender. So when you talk about the hater, he says he's getting the data from a big banker lender. All right, George.
All right, yeah.
Awesome. Henry from Fontana, California in the house. Fontana's right down the street from us, guys, if you guys don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing your wisdom on with YSP. That's youth sports programs.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but
Yield,
all right.
yield spread premium.
Yield spread premium. Okay.
You're welcome, Henry. Glad we can help. Let's see what else we got here. Would it be easier to qualify for a 2-fam for 250, either FHA or conventional? Same challenge. We're same challenge.
No matter what, if you're going to use the rents, so if you have a high FICO score, like 790 FICO score, you're probably better off with conventional. The most people that go FHA, if you're on the line of FHA 3.5% down or conventional 3% down, the determining factor is very clearly and very easily FICO score, because the MI on a 622 FICO score is going to be ridiculously high, like big high. I did one at 2.9%, which was ridiculously high. But if you have a 800 FICO score, your MI is going to be low. It's going to be 0.21, 0.24, sometimes 0.19, and that's better than the 0.55 of FHA. So FHA, the 0.55 is set, and sometimes that's good and sometimes it's bad. It's going to depend on your FICO score. If you have a 790 FICO, you're probably better off with conventional overall, and conventional is a little more forgiving except for income. Income, they're not as forgiving on income. They're forgiving on other things, but not as forgiving on income.
Yeah, all right, everybody. We're here to answer all your questions about the home buying process, programs, loans. Can you qualify? What down payment is needed? Giving us scenarios. What FICO score? So load up the chat box. We're going to get to every single one of you. And the next person is user 70. Oh, same. We already answered that one.
Yeah,
He's
in Boston. Yep.
Henry, owned 3 properties, 90K balance on 2, over 600K in equity on each. Want to buy a 4-plex. Thoughts?
Henry, if you're going to live in that 4-plex, my thought is you should go conventional. And if it's your primary residence and you're living in one, you got the hack. Like, you got the hack. The 3 properties, are they income producing properties or are they just liabilities? Like, for instance, if you say, I own some raw land, that's not property. That's not income producing property. It is land. You own real estate, but it's not like technically a property. You do have to factor the taxes and insurance on raw land. I have to factor property taxes. So anytime we're going to do a loan for somebody that's buying a house and they have raw land. I'm like, cool, let me see the raw land. They're like, it's paid for. Yeah, but you have property taxes, and I have to factor those property taxes in. I have to. There's no way around it. So if you have income-producing properties, that's a whole different scenario. But if you don't have income-producing properties, then we have to deal with taxes.
All right, we're getting a hey from Instagram.
Hey, what's up? Who's that?
I don't know. I can't read it too far.
Okay.
Okay, C. Taylor, can you do anything for me in Oklahoma?
C. Taylor, we can do loans for you in Oklahoma. C. Taylor, we can do loans in all 50 states.
How many?
All 50.
Damn.
You know what? Most banks, including us up until about 6 months ago, can only do loans in 48 states. 48. Because there's 2 that are very difficult to get licensed in. That's Hawaii and New York. And we never thought we were going to get licensed in Hawaii and New York. We just kind of said, yeah, whatever. No big deal. We do 48 states. We're good with that. Then we got a notice that said, hey, you're licensed in Hawaii. Like, no shit. That's badass. I haven't done a loan in Hawaii, but I want to. And then about 3 months ago, we got another notice that says we can now do business in New York. So all 50 states will help you, C. Taylor. No worries.
Yeah, New York. Isn't that the state that convicted a president of a felony?
What?
Isn't that the state?
I don't know, man. That's stupid.
It's stupid.
Stupid.
George Vasquez, what's your opinion on subject 2 properties?
Oh, George, you're not going to like this. You're not going to like this. Because I'm on the, hey, let's do things right side, and I deal with guidelines and real business mind, big boy talk. Not a fan of subject 2, not at all. And the reason is this. Because subject 2 is a very, very flashy snake oil thing that's making the rounds right now. And for those that are listening and don't know what subject 2 is, it's like, hey, I'd like to buy your property, and I would like to own it, and subject to me getting another buyer in here, I own that property. Yeah, the problem with that is there's something called a due on sale clause in most loans, not all, but most loans. And the due on sale clause can trigger something bad for the seller. And if you're picking up a subject to, that means that you're taking advantage of a situation. Now, maybe it's good and maybe it's bad. Could be Granny who doesn't know that her house is worth 400 grand and you got her to say, yes, I will take 300 grand. In which case you're taking advantage of Granny and then subject to and trying to get to somebody else. So, yeah, in that situation, thank you for the hats, whoever sent that.
Hats!
So
Henry sent hats.
Henry, appreciate you, Henry. So subject to can hurt a lot of people. And the one who's usually putting together the subject to deal doesn't usually have a real estate license, a lender's license, or any type of insurance anywhere. They can just walk away and say, hey, never mind, I don't want to do any of this shit. And Granny's stuck in a legal loop. The buyer's stuck in a legal loop. Because let's say Granny says, hey, I will sell this to you subject to. And you're like, hey, cool, subject to, let's do it. All right, Granny, subject to you for 300 grand. Yay, you find somebody that buys it for 400 grand. Yay, so you're now in escrow, multiple escrows. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on. And then all of a sudden we find out that Granny was not of right mind and not able to initiate that subject to.
Oh, Granny.
Oh, shit, what do we do now? Because the buyer wants to buy the property and they put money in escrow. There's a whole bunch of people that are involved in this transaction, but legally Granny could have never signed those documents, and now all of a sudden Granny's son's a lawyer and coming through and going, hey, wait, this is bullshit. I'm suing somebody. And the guy who put it all together just goes, I'm going to be Homer Simpson and fade back into the bushes, and I don't care anymore, bye! And that happens a lot. It's a bunch of junk is what it is. Subject to in a perfect world, maybe. But for the most part, yeah, no.
All right, getting some more questions from the gram, and it looks like Mr. Amazing Gray?
Okay.
Gray? I don't know. I can't read it. Sorry, guys. What are the current percentages, the interest rates? Yucaipa, California in the house.
In Yucaipa, California, I'm going to tell you across the board, not just Yucaipa, but across the board. If you went to the New American Funding website right now, you would see that a 15-year is 5.75%. 5.75%.
Love it.
What? You would see that a 30-year is 6%. What?
Pretty damn
6%.
good.
You would see a VA is 6%. What?
Sexy.
6%. Don't believe me? Go to the top where we have links. Go to Cool Stuff, Today's Rates, and you will see the rates that I am looking at. But I want you to look at one other thing. The thing that you would look at right below the FHA is that the 6% APR is 7.22. Now, for those in finance, that means I had to pay something in order to get to 6%. There's a lot of pay for something in order to get to 6%. On VA, it's not as bad. It's 6.62%. But these are better than we've seen in
long time.
Like 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
So did they lower the rates? Why are they lower now?
The certainty is better in the market. That's what I was getting to in the Jamie Dimon situation. Jamie Dimon was talking, and he says, hey, listen, I think we're going to be in this holding pattern for much longer, but I don't think it's going to go up. He says there's a chance it could go up, but I don't think it's going to go up. I think this guy is just going to hold for much longer. And right now the market is looking for certainty. Because it's looking for certainty, that yield spread in between the 10-year basis or the 10-year bond and the mortgage rate kind of reduced a little bit, and the 10-year yield has dropped just a little bit too.
Yeah, user 7387. So basically loan limits are high only in liberal run cities.
It's not really liberal cities, although I do understand your perspective. I do understand because Houston, Texas, high loan limits. Houston, Texas, that's not a liberal state. No way in hell. No way in hell. There's certain cities in Florida that are not that way. But in California, and like I have a house in Texas and I have a house in California. So I feel both sides of it. And a lot of liberal, like Los Angeles, unfortunately, it's very liberal and that is high. San Francisco, very high.
Portland.
San Diego, I don't think so. San Diego's kind of more conservative. Portland's about liberals.
Seattle.
Seattle's pretty busted up. New York City's pretty busted up.
Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, Chicago's pretty
Come
good.
on,
Yeah.
man.
Well, I got Houston, Texas, and Dallas. I'll give you Dallas, too. Dallas, Houston. Come on, name some good ones.
Austin.
No, Austin's not. Austin's not. But how about in Florida? That's one of your favorite states. What Florida? What areas
Florida.
are? What Orlando?
Miami.
Miami is liberal? No, it's not liberal.
I don't know, man.
Miami's
It's a weird city.
Who's from Miami that can tell me if it's liberal or conservative over there? So what's the big ones in Miami? Fort Lauderdale, Miami. I'm trying to think what the big ones are.
Jackson.
Orlando, Jacksonville.
No.
Yeah.
That's Republican as hell.
Is it Republican as hell?
Oh, yeah.
I think most of
But it
Florida,
doesn't have high loan limits.
Most of Florida is Republican as hell.
Raj Vendor in the house.
What's up, Rajvinder? Great to see you. We miss seeing you every day.
Hi, is a home equity agreement the same as HELOC?
Home equity agreement. No, home equity agreement means that you're sharing your equity and somebody's giving you loan. Somebody's giving you money, and they're basically, it's not a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. I'd have to see the contract, but what they're doing is they're taking advantage of people that have equity, and they're like, hey, you need 30 grand? Sure, I'll give you 30 grand. By the way, I want some of your equity.
Like a lot.
Like
yeah, 50% of what
and,
they give you.
And they'll lie to you in the contract. Mm-hmm. They'll lie to you and tell you the truth in the same sentence. I'm going to show you how they do this, okay? I'm going to lie to you and tell you the truth in the same sentence, okay? Here's the lie, okay? No, here's the truth. We'll go with the truth first. The truth is foreclosures are up 300% in recent years. 300%. So is that the truth? It is the truth. Okay, cool. But here's the chart. The chart shows this is 2003, this is 2008, and this is 2024. Now, from the time when there was a foreclosure moratorium, there really is a 300% increase. But if you put it in totality, it's not even close to the way it was in 2003. Not even close. Not even close. So did I tell you the truth? Yes, I told you the truth. Did I also lie to you in the same sentence? Yes, but you have to know the big picture in order to know I was lying to you. Because the ones that scare you will say, foreclosures are going through the roof. They're up 300%. And they're not lying, but they're not telling the truth either. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens with the home equity contracts. Mm-hmm. Now, a HELOC has to follow rules. Home equity line of credit has to follow rules. That's different than a home equity loan. Home equity HELOC, home equity line of credit.
Henry, Raj Victor, thank you for sharing the live. So guys, help us. Share the live. Give us a bunch of hearts. It helps us get into the algorithm so we can get more people asking questions. Load up these chat boxes, guys. Henry, I'll be 55 next week. Can I transfer my tax rate from my primary to an investment property?
Henry, I'd like to help you, but I am not your accountant. I am not your CPA. And I will say that if you have a tax rate that you are using on your primary residence, that is your primary residence, not your investment property. So I can't give you advice. I can't. But I can tell you that I think no.
Right. Ange Roz joined the live. Ralph joined the live. Welcome.
What's up, guys?
Junior Diaz, 418. What do I need for a 203K FHA loan? Is it different process than the traditional FHA loan?
Junior Diaz, 203K is a construction loan that helps to renovate a property that you are getting an FHA loan on. So it is an FHA loan with a little other loan on the side of it. And you have to qualify for FHA first, and then you have to say, here's what I'd like to improve. I would like to fix the bathroom, add a bedroom, whatever you're going to do, and you have to build out the 203K loan on top of the FHA loan. So the process is get qualified for an FHA first, then we have to figure out how much is it going to cost to build this. And it can't be your, my best guess is this. It has to be a contractor. So you need a general contractor in there. There's going to be an FHA case manager. The manager is going to manage the contractor to make sure the contractor does what they're supposed to do. So then you're going to have two different values. You're going to have your pre-value and your after rehab value. So we've got to have an appraiser go out and get you your value currently, and then they're going to speculate your after rehab value. They're usually pretty accurate on this stuff. Is it easy? No. It's kind of hard. Most loan officers don't like to do them. We don't like to do them. We will do them. We will do them, but we don't like to do them because, here's why. That FHA case manager is a stickler. And the FHA case manager almost universally is not going to get along with the general contractor because the FHA case manager is going to have his way of doing things. And the general contractor is going to have his way of doing things. And they're going to clash. And it sounds like good, but it's going to cost you a lot of time and a lot of hiccups. And you're going to play matchmaker on a lot of stuff. Can it happen? Yeah. Will we do it? Sure. Do I know what you're in store for? I do. It's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes we'll close an FHA loan and the 203K won't close for 6 months to a year. And there's like headaches. And almost every single time the buyer says, I won't do that again.
Yeah. All right, guys. Time for a commercial.
If you need a badass loan, call a badass loan officer. You can reach your badass loan officers, Chris and Lee at New American Funding, by calling the numbers on the screen. But don't call them right now because Chris's phone is on Instagram and Lee's phone is on TikTok live and they will not answer. We are on computers on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. But as soon as we're done with the live, you can call us. We will answer your questions and help you get that loan. This will disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bye.
Right. And if you're interested in getting started without even talking to us, go to the link in the bio, click on apply for a home loan now, get that bad boy started, and call us or text us when you're done, and we'll get that thing rolling for you. All right, Junior Diaz. Hope that helped. C. Taylor. My FICO is 642, and I never bought a house before. I'm sick of just renting for $1,350 a month. Is it possible to get a $200,000 loan without down payment?
So, C. Taylor, possible? Yes.
I think so.
Probable?
For $1,300, not for $1,350.
642?
Yeah, that's possible.
It's possible.
It's $1,350 a month. It's a good payment.
Yeah, it's a good payment. It's a good payment.
$200,000 down payment assistance interest rate.
Well, yeah. The problem is this: your 642 FICO hurts you a lot, not a little bit, a lot. And if we didn't have our proprietary program, I would say
good plug.
Probably not going to be able to do it. You like that?
If we didn't have this tool just here with Chris and Lee.
Yeah. Because most down payment assistance programs start at 660, but most of them are at 680. We do have one proprietary program from New American Funding that starts at 600. But none of them are free. There's a catch to all of them. There's always a catch. It throttles back your buying power. $1,350 a month, $200,000. You're kind of in line for that, kind of. But that $642 doesn't hurt you a little bit. It hurts you a lot, a lot. So possible, yes. Probable, we have to work. There's a lot of work involved here, and we'd have to see your back-end ratios. We'd have to see your tax base. We're willing to give it the old college try, man. We'll give it hell. We'll give it hell. Give us a call.
Absolutely. User 7387. How come you guys don't talk about side hustles anymore? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be real honest with you.
Be honest.
I'm a little tired of it.
Tired of talking of it or tired of doing it? Yeah.
Well, we got busier with loans.
Yeah, we got busier with loans.
And doing both is not time conducive, I would say.
Yeah. We still get checks. Every once in a while, we'll get a check here. We'll get a check there. Somebody asks us questions. We're good to go. I'm like, hey, get this. You're like, yeah, but loans pay more.
Yep.
Yeah, loans pay more. So we put our time into the loans. Moreover, we're still doing it. Everything's still active. We'll still work it. But the loan business.
And we're still posting weekly videos on it. So if you go to the feed, we got tons of videos there. You see some side hustle videos. You see the home buying videos. So it's all still there, guys. But we still like it. But when the primary takes over, the primary takes over.
George Vasquez. You're going to love this one because you did the research. Have you ever done any business in Puerto Rico? Any rules against my little island? Well, first off, George, you own the island?
Can I visit?
Can I visit? Can I get a passport to go to Puerto Rico? Do I need a passport to go to Puerto Rico? I don't think so. Hey, we could do loans in Puerto Rico. He actually dug in because we had a client who was doing a loan in Puerto Rico, and we're like, I don't know if we can do that. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
We can do a loan in Puerto Rico.
Actually,
good for
myself and a couple of my friends were talking about it about a week ago. We're thinking about buying a property there.
No shit.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Puerto Rico is actually pretty cool. And yes, we can finance you there. We can finance all 50 states, including Puerto Rico. So if you guys are there, call us. We'll get you guys started and rolling. Or you can just click on the link in the bio and get the process started.
Puerto Rico.
You're welcome, Junior Diaz. He said thank you.
We're here for you. I don't know what we did, but you're welcome.
I don't know either. Yeah, C. Taylor said thanks.
We're here for you, C. Taylor.
Jorge Vasquez says yes, sir.
Is that your you own that country.
Nice. Good for you, man.
Good for you.
Country, island. Is it tropical? I've never been there.
Team Sanchez is in the house.
Long time no see. Long time. Jamie Dimon. Back to Jamie Dimon. Okay. So Jamie Dimon said, hey, this economy gives itself a lot of benefit to those that could take advantage of it and actually do pretty well, which is true, right? So when things go, those that could take advantage of it, of these opportunities, get rich. Yeah. How do they get rich, though?
Well, a lot of times it's like these subject to properties, they're taking advantage of people that are in a bad situation. And that's usually what, like, subject to, and they want to take over your loan, or straw buyers, stuff like that. There's a bunch of people coming out with these, a bunch of them. And when you have a unfortunate situation where people are stuck, they have to. They're like, yeah, you're about to get foreclosed on. You can either I'll give you $20,000 and you don't get foreclosed on, and I'll take your property, or the bank will take it and you get nothing. And because of evil people with intellect, people get taken advantage of. And that's, who do they get taken advantage of by? The guys with money, the guys at the top. They're sharks. And it's a zero-sum game. It's like stock market. Does the stock market feel sorry for the person who loses? No! They don't care. The same amount of money that walks into the stock market in the morning walks out at the end of the day, just walks out in different hands. And whoever played the game better has the money. That's the way it works. And when you walked in, you said, I'm ready. Just like when you go to Vegas. Now, if you've ever had a bad run in Vegas or gambling where you're like, I really shouldn't have done that. I went too far. I've done that before. Many years ago, I put way too much money down. I lost way too much money, and I felt so horrible. It was so weird. But I realized I was a big boy. I was my money. I lost it. Don't do that again, Lee. All right, cool. And I haven't. That was I was 22 years old, so a long time ago.
So you put less girls through college that time.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, but that does happen, and that's what happens. That's what happens in the big bad world of real estate, because sharks come in and they will take your property, and the way they take it is not so straightforward. They're like, "Hey, I'm going to muscle you out of it." Here's how they take it. They say, "Yeah, I see that you own a house that's worth $800,000, and you have you." $500,000. You have $300,000 in equity. That's a lot of equity. And I see you need money. Here's 80 grand. I'll give you 80 grand. I just want to share your equity with you. That's it. Now, inside of that, they'll have some ruthless clause where they can come in and freaking foreclose on your ass. And they'll say, no worries, 80 grand, just pay me back in 2 years. We're good for that. And if you pay them back in 2 years, you're probably good for it. But if you don't, they're like the mafia. They're like, yeah, okay, if you look at section 34, subsection D, note letter A, I can foreclose and take over your property, and you've also agreed that I can take over your primary notes. They're like, what? I agreed to that? And then you'll open up the contract and you'll go, holy shit, I didn't read that part. Yeah, it's clearly in the contract. Let's go to court. Let's find out. You'll lose. These guys do that. It's horrible, but it's real.
Yeah. But you have the more obvious ones too. Like for instance, when 2008 we had that real estate crash, which everyone thinks is going to happen again for some reason.
It's not going to happen.
And in 2009,
it's not going to happen.
10, 11,
not going to happen.
12, what happened is real estate values did go down. They did go down.
Yeah.
And you know who ate all those up?
The banks.
Well, that bottom.
Yeah.
The banks took them back, but the bottom were the people with money. They would go in and say, hey, that house was worth $600,000 in 2006. Now it's worth $3, mine. This one's worth $2, mine. And a lot of people built their real estate portfolio this way. As a matter of fact, you know what's happening right now with new builds?
The banks are buying them.
The banks and China. What will happen is that an investor will go in, new builds. It's just lots right now. They're not even building the houses yet. And I had a friend of mine that actually went to go buy a new build, and he said that the realtor that was at the showcase model, whatever they call it, said that a Chinese investor came in and bought one, and then said, what's the deal if I buy the whole row? And they give him a deal, and he cut a check and bought a whole row of these houses. And these are all going to be rental homes, guys. These are not going to be to buy or resell. They're going to become rentals.
And the problem that we have right now is because, and how do the rich get richer? They're buying these houses that are like depressed in value. They're like depressed, but they're lower in value. And hedge funds are coming in, and they're just buying up a whole bunch of properties. And how does an average person compete against a hedge fund? You can't. You just can't. They got all the money. They're using everybody's money, and this unfortunately hurts the people that are making under 100,000. Just that's a number. But the poor people in the world, this situation hurts those people the most. By far, hurts them the most.
Hey, do me a favor. Everyone that's on YouTube, tell me who you are. I want to know who you are on YouTube. We got a bunch of viewers on YouTube. So
appreciate you guys on YouTube. Appreciate you guys on Instagram. Who's on Instagram? We got some people on Instagram.
Got Ralph, got people. Mr. Something.
TikTok's not that big today. TikTok's kind of low today. Yeah, we got some good stuff on Facebook. Facebook's always weird, huh? And so's Facebook's
we do have George Vasquez.
What's up, George Vasquez? Great to see you. What are opinions on the NRA having to owe $418 million? I don't know what you're talking about, George Vasquez.
News I haven't caught.
George, give me the lowdown. I'll Google it after.
411.
Yeah, I know what the NRA is, but the National Rifle Association used to be one of the most powerful political arms out there.
Oh, NRA, NAR. He meant NAR.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it. National Realtor Association. Yeah, NAR.
It's National Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
NAR.
NRA is National Rifle Association. I didn't know about that. I do know about NAR, National Association of Realtors.
I thought that was NRA.
I know. I was like, what happened? Oh my God. Yeah. So the NAR lawsuit. Okay, so the National Association of Realtors did lose a lawsuit, and it's so strange. It's strange. And I've always thought this is a problem because the way the rules are set up, the seller pays for the buyer's agent, which sounds to me like a giant conflict of interest, but that's what it's always been, and because that's what it's been, that's what it always will be. I don't know, but I've always thought it was wrong. I was like, isn't that a conflict of interest if the seller pays for my realtor? Shouldn't my realtor be representing the guy who paid for? Anyway, so that's the way it was set up. So big lawsuit happens, and they say, can't do this, and they win. And they say, yeah, this is kind of wrong. But here's the problem. The market is conditioned so that the buyer's agent doesn't pay a realtor. And this is causing a big scatter on the buyer's agent side, because most realtors, almost all, 99.9% of the realtors are both buyers and listing agents. Even if they say I'm primary listing agent, they have somebody that takes their buyers, and they're still a buyer's agent. And if they're buyer's agent, everybody wants to be a listing agent because that's easier. You can handle 10 properties as a listing agent. You can't handle 10 buyers if you're just by yourself. You'll be in the car running around. You can't. It's too much work. But you can handle 10 listings. So all agents want to be a listing agent, but they do both. They do both. So now they have to go, hey, listen, I'm going to represent you, but I need for you to sign a buyer's purchase agreement. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to get 3% no matter what. Hopefully we get the seller to pay for it, but in the event that the seller doesn't pay for it, you have to. And they're like, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean I have to? Yeah, you're going to pay for my services or you're not going to use me because I'm not going to work for free. Now, is that unreasonable? It's not unreasonable. It's like reasonable. But the market's been conditioned that buyer's agents are free. And because of the system is all screwed up, it used to be that the seller paid for the buyer's agent and it was built into the contract. And they're like, hey, Lee, what do you think about the listing agent paying for, or the seller paying for the buyer's agent? I'm like, well, it's semantics because it came out of the listing agent or the seller's check, but the buyer wrote the check. So it's in the deal. It's always been in the deal. And as soon as everything balances, it'll be back in the deal. It's like taking a cup of water from this side of the bucket and pouring it to the other side of the bucket. It's still the same bucket. It's still $500,000 house. There's still going to be 6% commission on it. The only difference is how they slice it up for them to charge the buyer and the seller. And the way that the industry has been structured, because NAR had a lot of political power. National Association of Realtors was one of the most politically powerful organizations out there. And when they just bent over and took it, that was, I don't know if that's the right term, but when they just took it, they're like, yeah, we'll pay you, whatever. Now, there's some segments of realtors like the Upper East Coast. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to get involved with this. We're not going to adhere to your guys' lawsuit because National Association of Realtors is a conjugation of all the sets of realtors throughout the country. And they have their Eastern version, Southern version, Western version, blah, 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 blah. I don't know exactly how it breaks down, but there's different versions that all come together here. And because the big boy lost the lawsuit, everybody else has to buy in. And some of them, like last week, the Northwestern Division Association of Realtors said, yeah, I'm not buying into this. So y'all go ahead without me. It's fine. I'm just going to sit this one out. They're going to negotiate their own deal. So very strange. And Christian Noel says, sounds like a scam. Kind of. Yeah. It's a whole bunch of crap that has a established way of doing things. And now they're moving everything around. So it's going to have to find its new balance. But if you back up far enough, a $500,000 house is still going to be a $500,000 house. And 6% commission is still going to be 6% commission. They're just going to figure out a different way to deal with it. So that's what I think about all that.
Don't get greedy, guys. Don't get greedy. Frankie, 760 credit score, $170,000 a year income. How much a home can I afford?
You go.
Frankie, that's a fantastic credit score and a fantastic income. This is a very rare situation where someone comes in with great income, great everything, but as far as your approval is concerned, you're in the $700,000 range. $700,000 range.
I'd say 750.
Yeah, range.
With that FICO score, with 760, shit, I'd get close to that 6% that New American Funding's putting out.
So here's the other question. How much debt do you have? Okay. How much down payment do you have? What area are you buying in? Because these are all a factor because of loan limits.
Property tax base.
So everything is a factor. So everything we talk about, the data we give you guys is just an estimate, just an idea of where you're probably going to land. We're usually right. Sometimes we're a little off depending on the area. But Frankie, that's a fantastic file. I'd love to work on it. If you guys are interested in getting a home loan started, go to the link in the bio, click on apply for a home loan now, and get it started while we're just talking here and answering all your questions.
Kim joined. What's up, Kim? Great to see you.
K-Money. Salso Luna. Going to call you in a bit, Chris. Need to find the best way to get my money from my equity.
What?
Salso Luna making money while he's doing other things.
Making money.
I love it. Our phones are always on, man. So call us, text us, and we'll get you started on the process.
Yeah, they're on. We can't answer right now, but they're on. I mean, it's on. We're just on Do Not Disturb because I'm live on TikTok. He's live on Instagram. We're also live on Facebook, and on YouTube via our computers. So we're live on all the platforms, helping you get a house in 2024.
And hopefully in 25, 26, 27. So here's some good news, guys. So I know we share this a lot and we have videos on it and we tell people, but you're going to get into a house in 2024, likely, okay? Likely. You're not going to get the most attractive interest rate. You might get in after an interest rate reduction, but it's not going to be at the bottom because the Fed has put out on their website that the bottom of the interest rate is probably going to come in 2026 or maybe even 2027. Is that right, Lee?
Yes.
So what you're going to do is you're going to end up refinancing. What that means is whatever your rate is today, when you refinance, we're going to drop it to whatever it is then, which will give you a much smaller mortgage payment. But you know what that comes with? Fees. It comes with fees. You have to pay escrow again, have to pay the notary again, have to pay the appraisal again, have to maybe pay title insurance. And you also have to pay lender fees. But Lee, what's the good news when you work with us?
Well, if you buy a house now, New American Funding is committing for the next 5 years, five years, that they'll refinance you with no lender costs. No costs.
Pretty sweet.
No lender costs.
I like that.
Yeah. So it's worth thousands.
You're going to refinance anyway.
Yeah. It's worth thousands. Yeah, probably thousands. Maybe even more because of all the money you're going to save in financing. So it's worth thousands, maybe tens of thousands to be able to refinance with no lender costs.
I love it. So
Maybe
yeah,
put it in
remember
writing.
that, guys. Remember that. When you want to refinance, if you've done a loan with us, we're not going to charge you that lender fee. And Christian Noel says, so what? No rate cuts happening this year?
Christian, according to the Federal Reserve, and he doesn't speak again till, I think it's June 10th. He talks again June 10th. And so far, he's steadfast. He said, we anticipate 3 interest rate reduction cuts in 2024. There are still enough meetings for him to do that. That could be that he does it next. Nobody thinks it is, but according to the Federal Reserve, we are at 5.25 right now, 5.25 and 5.5 Fed funds rate. They anticipate 3 interest rate reductions in 2024, 5 in 25, and a few in 26. They anticipate the bottom of the cycle is end of 26, beginning of 27. So we do believe there's still going to be rate cuts. Now, the media needs to sell. So they sell by saying, oh, they're not going to cut anymore, not going to cut. He has not said that. He has said, turns out, inflation's a little more stubborn than we anticipated. That's all he said. Now, he hasn't said we've changed our forecast. They're still forecast 3 interest rate reduction cuts in 2024. If he's going to change it, it will be June 10th. He's going to say June 10th, he's going to say, hey, inflation's a little more stubborn than we thought. And we're revising our forecast of interest rate reduction cuts. But if he doesn't say that, Mark's going to go crazy on June 10th. Mark's going to go crazy. Always does whenever he
Christian
talks.
Noel said that's your birthday.
Yay!
All right, happy birthday to you in 7 days if we don't see you. But we probably will because that'll be next Monday.
Yep.
Christian also said Mr. Powell needs to get it together.
Yes, he does.
Freaking Mr. Powell. Gosh darn it. Ready to hit it, man?
You know what? We appreciate you. We've been Chris and Lee. We're out.